Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Okay. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Can I hear myself? Okay. Testing, testing. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. I think it's okay. 1, 2, 3. Can I hear myself? Okay. All right, I think we're good. Testing. I'll have to mute this here. If you don't hear me, you guys let me know. I'm going to minimize this. Hopefully it's all good. I'm going to maximize this. And I'm going to open up my phone just to see if I can hear it on here. Now we got a black screen. We have a black screen because we're looking at a video here. All right, so it's not off. View channel. All right, let's see if we hear me. Do we? Oh God, commercials. Very annoying. Alrighty. View channel. Yeah, I think. Alright, let's see if we hear me. I think we're good. Alright. Hi everybody, Game Cooker US Rocks VR. Sorry about my you know. I'm in my bed in my bedroom, so um I don't know, man. I just life has been a bit hectic and you know, just trying to survive really. Um things are just very difficult these days financially, Um, and I just haven't been able to like jump in and do some streaming or gaming online or whatever. The time that I have been gaming, I've been gaming with my kids, so, you know, that's more important than streaming. Um, so anyway, I'm just kind of jumping in here when I can, when I'm mentally, kind of in tune, you know. Uh, lately I just been kind of like, being busy and like I said, hectic life. But anyway, I want to talk about Stellar Blade and Assassin's Creed Shadows and Steam charts and RTX availability. Maybe we'll look at AMD as well. So they brought out the Stellar Blade trailer here, highlighting NVIDIA RTX, which I'm assuming is now they were just kind of highlighting the DLSS 4 here. Um, you know, but I'm assuming that ray tracing was in here too, right? So, because it did say RTX, so I'm assuming that's all the features. So, yeah, I kind of been waiting for this to come out on PC. Um, Now I have the sound turned off, so you're not going to hear any sound. So I'm looking forward to getting this, even though I suck at fighting games like this. Um, I just want it for the graphics and, of course, the nice looking characters, because that's what I care about, nice looking characters, both men and women. I want nice looking characters on both ends, you know what I'm saying? It's got nothing necessarily to do with gooning or whatever they call it. Um, Now I'm not going to sit here and say that sex appeal, is not something. that's a thing. Of course it is. That's I mean, let's be honest here. That's human nature. You know what I'm saying? So, um, but in this day and age, nice looking graphics is what I want, and that includes, you know, characters that look nice. It's not even a matter like I don't think Eve is like really like you might say I'm kind of crazy for saying this, but personally, I don't think Eve looks that pretty. Like she certainly isn't ugly, and I don't really like her body that much. Like I don't like the big hip thing going on, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't mind the cake, but you know, um, I like a more petite figure, but that's just me. And I'm not saying that I don't like thicker, you know, female characters. I do, but in the way I like it, you know what I mean? Not this like kind of across the board general thing that you see out there, with people, you know, promoting like the big gigantic butts and all that stuff, and the twerking and all that garbage. But anyway, to each his own. Like I said, she certainly isn't ugly, but I don't think she's like, you know, she wouldn't be the type of person, quote unquote, that I would kill myself for. You know what I mean? Um, but nonetheless, she looks nice. She looks clean. She looks, you know, even with the proportions that she has that I don't particularly care for that much, still looks good. It's done with style, right? So, um, I think there's a time and a place for grungy looking people, you know, females and males alike. Um, but this across the board, what these modern developers and the ESG money is making people like put in these like kind of general looking, common looking, you know, people. And I'm not saying that common looking, you know, plain kind of looking overweight, I'm not saying that I have disrespect for those people, because people are people, you know what I mean? You can't help the way you look, you were born the way you were born. Um, so there's no hate from me for those kinds of people. Um, but when I'm playing a game, or, I want style, I want beauty, I want nice looking games. Like that's just me. Okay? So that's not going to change, you know? Again, Borderlands. We just watched a movie called Twisters, which is like, another installment of the movie Twister, but different characters now, um, actors, whatever. It kind of got off a little slow, but then as it went on, the movie got kind of a little better. I mean, it's kind of a generic movie, but it's okay. It was a movie that like the family could watch and whatever. I don't need any blockbusters all the time. But the um the corpos in the movie, you could kind of say they were, well, not really all. Some of them were geeky, but of course, they were the corpos, so they had the kind of sleek vehicles and all that stuff, the SUV types, you know. Um, while the Southerner group from Arkansas, um, you had your typical cowboy looking dude, he's like the Don Juan of the group. Um, but then all the other characters that were with him, you know, except for the black guy and the I don't know if she was Hispanic or Indian, but eh, three of the people with his group were really grungy looking. Okay, with the tattoos and the dreadlocks and all that stuff. So you know, and again, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have a problem with that. Like it it, it kind of seemed out of place for a southern group, but there's quite a mix of people in the South in the United States. Like a lot of people just want to make it out like they're just all rednecks, you know. But you could say that a lot of people in the South are rednecks, but they're not the stereotypical rednecks that the media would have you think they are. Because there's black people who are rednecks. There's white people who are rednecks. There's Native Americans who are rednecks. There's, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, you know, the term redneck doesn't just mean like one particular demographic. You know what I'm saying? As far as like skin color goes, you know what I mean? Or even look, So, um, correct me if I'm wrong there, but I mean, I lived in the South for a little bit, I met different kinds of people, you know what I'm saying? So, again, that's okay. But, they weren't, in the movie, they weren't pushing like, you know, the alphabet soup, right? They weren't pushing the anti-racism. They weren't pushing the social justice per se, you know. Um, they weren't pushing, you know, uh, you know, I guess you could say there was a little anti-capitalism in there, but it was more like anti-corpo, where somebody with money is taking advantage of people who are, going through unfortunate situations, and that's not a problem. Like, I think most people can get on board with that. That's not a left thing. You know what I'm saying? So, um, which is what, the media wants to keep touting that the left is the only one who likes people, who cares about poor people, who cares about the less fortunate. And it's just so dumb because that's just couldn't be farther from the truth. That is like that's a lie, you know, basically. Um, so anyway, I'm kind of ranting here. So yes, I'm buying the game because the game looks nice and I like the way the characters look. Okay, so let's look at this and we'll maybe talk about this a little bit. So Eve, so the game Stellar Blade is by Shift Up, of course. It's coming out in the summer, which is a weird time to bring it out, but now this video is YouTube, so it's not going to really show it really in all of its glory. I mean, I have it in, I believe I have it in 4K. Yeah, it's running in 4K. Of course, I'm streaming at 1080p um, because I have my 3090 here and I'm on wireless, so hopefully the stream will be good. But as you can see here, they're basically, unfortunately, with this video, they're only showing off the DLSS 4, which I think is kind of like, I don't know, man. It was like, now it says RTX on, so here you got 4K, no DLSS, running at 120 frames per second. Now they don't tell you the settings, whether it's at ultra or medium or high or whatever modes they're going to have here, standard or quality. Um, but it's running at 120 frames per second. I can't say again how it looks per se because it's on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? But you can see here there is some, you can see the explosions there. There isn't much like light coming off of them. Um, there's a little bit of glow behind Eve there and on the side of her, but it's not like totally radical. So it's kind of like weird that they put, you know, again, it's kind of like you can't really see, like you can see the glow here, but does it change much, you know? And that's what we really needed to see. We needed to see some side by sides because this video doesn't really show the difference in the ray tracing and the lighting, right? So, I mean, maybe here it does a little. Let's see if it's a little duller. But again, she's not in the same exact spot, so. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really like, you know, again, I just think it's kind of like it just does seems pointless to show DLSS 4, right? Like, sure, you can get your monitor to run at the high refresh rate if you got like a 240 4K monitor, um, but you can't really see it. I'm busy. Is it an emergency? What do you need? What do you need? No. So, yeah, so I mean, you can't really see 324 frames per second. Let me just check to see if my sound is coming through. Okay, yeah, you can hear it. Anyway, I'm much more interested in the ray tracing if it has it. You know what I mean? Because I mean, the game's gonna look, that the game is gonna look beautiful on a PC even compared to the console, right? Like, I don't care how much people tout the the PS5 and the PS5 Pro. You know what I'm saying? Like here, you're in this scene here, which I think is the beginning. You're at 91 frames per second, which again is not bad for 4K, but again, we don't know what settings. It might say it in the description. I'll look, you know. But see, there really isn't any different, at least to me, in the look of um, the look of the game itself in this video. You know, like look at these characters. You know, like I don't like I said, Eve isn't an ugly person, but I don't like this kind of a face. I Even though this one probably isn't much different, maybe the hair is making her look different, but she has more of an oval face, right? Whereas Eve has more of a round face. You know, like I like this look better, her. You know, and I love these lips here. So again, Eve is not ugly. I'm not saying she's ugly. Okay. Um, she's fine. She's a pretty girl, but like I definitely prefer this one better. Um, but anyway, whatever. It doesn't really matter. They both look nice. They're clean. They're not ugly, so that's what matters. When I'm playing a game, you know. Now, I can see here like here she looks kind of cute. Like they put the little eyes opening there, like, oh. So obviously in some parts she looks really cute. Um, but again, like I said, I like the male characters too. Um, of course, some of the characters are pretty like, uh, what do you call it? Transhumanized. But that's fine. Like I said, that's all good as long as they're characters that aren't insulting the the gamers, that aren't insulting people, just everyday people. I don't know again what these people think they're going to get in return when you want to insult half the world's population. You know what I'm saying? Like, irregardless of what people say, Most of the people in the world are white. Okay? I understand you have, China, Chinese people are white, right? Korean people are white. Australian people predominantly are white. Most of America is white. Most of Europe, I guess, is white, although they they brought a lot of immigrants in, so I don't know how that's working out. South America, right? A lot of them are white. I understand that when you look on TV, when you look at shows, when you look at the media, they're showing these brown-skinned people. Well, guess what? I got Italian blood in me. When I'm out in the sun, I'm brown, right? So if I was in South America living and was in the sun all the time, then I would be brown. Now I have some English in me, right? So that's why I don't get as dark as my Italian relatives who came over here. Well, they're really not alive now, but when I was younger, some were still alive. They came over from Italy, or at least their parents were pure, you know, uh, Italian. You know what I'm saying? And then it depends on what part of Italy you're from too. Um, yeah, so I mean, if you look under the clothes, they're going to be pale skin. You know. So anyway, let's move on. So again, here they're just showing the FPS, which again I think is just kind of dumb. I would much rather just see a ray tracing comparison and a DLSS quality versus DLAA versus TAA, those kinds of things. Which I guess, obviously when I play the game, I'm going to be able to see that. But, you know, again, this all looks good, but, it's really flashy with the lights and everything, the attacks. I have no doubt that it's going to look stunning, you know, because, they went all in on style, you know, and style goes a long way. Like people wonder why these gotcha games like always attract a lot of people. Well, yeah, you could say, well, it's because of the characters, you know what I mean? And the pretty characters, the gooners, right? But there's more to it a lot of times as well. Like a lot of those games, like I haven't played that many, but the ones that I've just kind of tried out and delved into, like in a lot of cases, they have a lot of style. Like the world that you're in is beautiful. It's nice to look at. The characters are beautiful. They're nice to look at. Like Infinity Nikki, right? Infinity Nikki is just basically like you run around doing some quests and you do a lot of puzzles, and you can craft outfits for the girl, right? Or for your character. So it's kind of a dress up game as well. You're just collecting outfits um, and doing puzzles. But the game itself, when you're running around, I mean, in the little world or map you're on, it has style, right? It's appealing. It's aesthetically pleasing, you know, and it's not necessarily my kind of game. I just tried it out because I just wanted to see what the hype was about, you know. Um, but it's actually just pleasant to be in the game, just running around, looking around at stuff and just talking to people and you know because it has style. You know what I mean? So style goes a long way. Um, yeah. Anyway, hello everybody. Um, sorry I didn't leave a message. Hope everyone is doing well. Game on. Yeah, I forgot to leave a message. Um, yeah, anyway, thanks for stopping by. Okay, so we're done with this. All right, so let's move on to so let's talk about Assassin's Creed Shadows. So the number went down. It just went down by 1,000. So right now in Steam, there's a 27,086 in game. Um, a new game called Kazan has 17,000. This is like a fighter game. I don't know. I guess it's like a Souls-like kind of light action role playing. Atom Fall, unfortunately, they only got a couple thousand. Um, so actually, it was peaking a little earlier. So it's getting late here. It's like what 7 o'clock or something, 7:20. I can't see. I'm looking at my TV actually here. Um, yeah. So and then of course, let's see what else do we have here. Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts still has 10,500 in game right now. Um, I don't know why I have this up again. Cyberpunk, 28,000. Isn't that crazy? 28,780 and Assassin's Creed Shadows has what? 27,000. So Cyberpunk 2077, a game that came out in 2020, has more players in game right now. Is that crazy? That is insane. Valheim, that was popular before. 24,850 still in game today. And then Split Fiction, which, I might play this with my kids, one of my children. They got 13,133. So, this one's not going to be, I don't think, as appealing, although let's go to the store page and see how many reviews we got. Let's see, does it say? Why does it not say? Okay, so let's see here. Let's show all. All. So 57,593 reviews. And there is 56,421 positive. So the majority of the review. Now, see, this is what I don't. Okay, so it's only counting 36,000 reviews. Okay, so 36,797 out of the 57,500 are from people who bought the game directly from Steam. So this don't count, I guess, like free keys or like if you went to a key site, and bought a key. Um, so they don't really break down, unfortunately, the that number. But anyway, it's overwhelmingly positive, and Uh, it came out on the 6th. So now you could say like a few weeks ago, 20 days, 21 days ago, so 3 weeks ago. So yeah. So and it's still got 13,000 in there. Now this one you need two people to play. So it's not. It doesn't surprise me that this number isn't higher, because you have to find someone else to play with. So Valheim, 24,000. So you can see it's changing pretty dynamically. So Valheim has has, um, where is it? Very positive. So it's got 493,000 reviews and 419,000 bought it on Steam. So, yeah, so that's a pretty legit number. So 465,000 positive reviews. That's pretty insane, right? Pretty insane. So I know these developers are super happy. They're like, what the heck? Our game was that popular? I know they must have been surprised, man. Because even if they sell it, they sell it normally for 20 bucks. So I think it even went. That might have been the original price. I thought it was 29.99, but I think it's 20. So I mean, if you think about that for a second, I mean that's you could say they sold 419,000 copies on Steam, right? So let's get up the calculator. I'm kind of dumb right now. 419,000. Let's just say I don't know. Let's just say we'll round it to $15 because they do sell it for 10 bucks occasionally. So that's $6,285 just from Steam. All right. So that's pretty crazy. I think Valheim, you can play it on Xbox. I think. I think you can play it on there. So that's pretty nice for an indie developer. This is an indie developer, correct? Coffee Stain Publishing, yeah. What else do they make? Um, so Goat Simulator. Oh yeah, that sold pretty well. Sanctum 1 and 2. So actually they're not too indie. I mean, I guess they might be considered an indie development team, but they brought out Deep Rock Galactic. That did pretty well too. So they seem to be bringing out games that the general public like. I don't care for really most of them. Like I don't care about Goat Simulator. I didn't really want to play Deep Rock Galactic either. Sanctum 1 and 2, I think that's tower defense. Yeah, so I wasn't really into that too much. But yeah, I mean, they do appeal to a broad audience, and that's what matters. Um, and they don't insult their customer base as far as I know. So let's look at Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now they came out uh, March 19th, so that wasn't that long ago. So that was like last week. So I guess not even 10 days, right? So like 1 week ago. Now this is Assassin's Creed, right? Assassin's Creed. Okay, this isn't Deep Rock Galactic. This is a franchise that is beloved by like so many people. Okay? So many people. All right, so here we have 12,806 reviews. 11,458 were bought here on Steam. Okay? So Steam sales right here tells you right here. So did I kill the calculator? What did I do with the calculator? I killed the calculator, didn't I? So it's selling for 70 bucks, 70 times. So that's what they made from Steam. Only $800,000. Well, that's if they sold only the $70 one. I mean, I think there's more expensive ones, right? Oh yeah, the deluxe edition for 89. Well, let's give them the benefit of the doubt, right? Let's even go with 90. So that's still just a little over $1 million. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, that's insane. That's not good. So this 2 million players, I'm not really sure where they're getting the 2 million players from. And the reason why I'm going to tell you that is because I wasn't done yet looking at these other ones. Now I had Assassin's Creed Odyssey here, I thought. Let me go to Assassin's Creed Odyssey here. Let's go to Odyssey. Okay, so we're on Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Oh, I might have had that up earlier and thought it was Shadows because it said now available. Okay, yeah. So there is. Oh, what? What happened here? Why is it doing that? So there's only 3,833 playing this game, but it came out in 2018. And once you play through the game and get all the completions, you know what I'm saying? Uh, wow, this is insane prices. Look at this, 120 bucks. That's why it's not selling very well. It's pretty crazy. It's dumb for selling it that expensive. So if we go here to the reviews, there was 170,000 reviews, and 154,000 were bought on Steam. Now, you know, this game goes on super sale quite, frequently. So you can buy the game for like much cheaper than 60 bucks. Okay? So, it's kind of hard to quantify um, how much they made. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, um, people bought it for, say, an average of $50. So you have 154,000 bought from Steam times 50. So that's $7,700,000. So Assassin's Creed Shadows, or Odyssey, sorry, has already made, you know, well over what Shadows has made. Now, again, Shadows has only been out for a week, so they made $1 million in a week by our estimates. We don't know for sure. Um, but again, I don't think that Odyssey was really like something that people were happy with. I don't think Valhalla was something people were happy with, and certainly this game, people weren't happy with this game. Now, I would have bought this game if they just made it the way people were wanting it to be, where you played a Japanese samurai or whatever you want to say, assassin, ninja, whatever. Okay, a male character. Okay, they could have had a female Japanese like they have now. They could have had a male, and that's all you needed. Done. Right, and then they could have released, right, the Yusuke or whatever his name is. They could have released that as a DLC, right? Like that would have been the smart, sensitive, and respectful thing to do. And I guarantee you that no one would have had any qualms with playing Yusuke in a DLC. Like I personally have no doubts in my mind that this game would have sold as good as Monster Hunter Wilds. Like I'm not talking about like in the same sense that like when you have Asian games that sell like millions and millions and millions, that's because people in Asia are really hardcore about certain things, right? So, the gotcha games always do well over there. The Stellar Blade type games always do well over there. Um, but as an Assassin's Creed game, it would have been on par as far as its success. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not comparing the two games or the two genres. I'm just saying it, Assassin's Creed Shadows would have been a mega hit if they would have just given gamers what they wanted. Like I was looking forward to playing if they ever brought out an actual Japanese game, right, with an assassin, you know, and had a samurai theme or something, it doesn't matter what really. I'm not an Assassin's Creed player, right? I mean, I have Odyssey and I bought the Egyptian one, you know, messed around a little bit, but I'm not like a hardcore fan, but I would have bought the Japanese version, right? The Japan one. But then after they were, it's after they like made a big, made it all political, insulted everybody. I mean, trying to like say, oh, we made it this way because we're so virtuous. We just thought this was better for everyone. Well, it was better for no one, right? Except for the, you know, mentally sensitive people, who have a Marxist agenda to make everybody racist and fascist, and you know, they want to make them every name under the book that's bad, you know. So, and I'm not saying that just to say it. I would have bought the game, right? So the reason why I bought Odyssey, even though I heard about all the little criticisms of it and didn't really care for the gay part, you know, I liked the scenery, the setting, right? So I wanted to kind of run around in that setting. Same thing with the Egypt one, right? I bought it for the setting. So this one in Japan, I would have bought it for the setting, but I wanted to actually play this one as I wanted to actually my first time really just play through the game, and they ruined it, you know, with all this political junk, right? And this modernization of everything, trying to appeal to a modern gaming audience that isn't there, you know? And if you want to say they're there, well, they're very minimal. You know what I'm saying? It's like just so stupid. Like imagine you going into like a conference room going, "Let's make an Assassin's Creed game set in Japan," you know, during the samurai period, right? And let's go ahead and dig up like a fairly well-known Japanese historical character, and we're gonna make him front and center. And then we'll have a girl, you know, 1, 2, just so that for men and women, whatever. We want to have a male and female, which is fine. You don't have to do that, but whatever. You can have two. If you want to play a female, well, we got that, right? So, and that would have been the pitch, right? And everybody would have been like, yeah. But no, the person comes in and says, yeah, let's make a Japanese historical character, and then we'll have a woman too, just to. And then the people in the room say, no, 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 that's dumb. What do you mean dumb? Well, we got to have a black man in the game who isn't Japanese. And you're scratching your head going, but we're in Japan. And everybody's looking forward to playing a Japanese character. A male character, primarily. But we can put a female character in there too. Right? Do you see how silly that is? It's like so silly. Like who in there like how many brain cells do you need to understand that that's just so nonsensical. You know, it's like if you wanted to make a game about the Revolutionary War and everybody's like, "Yeah, let's put in those southerner Confederates and we'll put in the northern, you know, whatever elites." You know, the normies. And then, you know, of course we'll have some Indians in there thrown in the mix. But then somebody says, "No, no, 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 no. You got to have mostly black people in the South, and then you're going to have the Germanic people in the North." That's going to be the primary population who's fighting each other. And then the Indians are going to be, you know, in there somewhere. Now, the reason why I picked those two groups is because there was black people in the South and there was Germanic soldiers, you know, people from Europe who were hired who also helped out in some instances, but, you know, not really highly. But so somebody would say, well, that's dumb, right? Because it doesn't make any sense, right? Because it was Americans fighting against Americans. And then, of course, the black people did help, like the South, right? There was black people who fought on the South side, believe it or not. And there was black people in the North that fought, you know, on the northern side. Okay? So that's who you would have fighting against each other. Okay? So, you know, just to say, well, you know, we just want more inclusion or we want more representation of the minorities that were there is just silly. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just not how it played out, you know? Um, and even though Assassin's Creed is a fictional game, it's like the expectation of people would not be their first thought when you're going to play a Assassin's Creed game in Japan to play a black guy. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Anyway, let's look at Monster Hunter. Let's rush through this. So Monster Hunter Wilds 95,000. So it's more than double the amount that's playing Assassin's Creed. So let's go back to Assassin's Creed. We're gonna look at um, the Steam charts in a second. Yeah, so there's 26,000 now. It's even less than before. Um, while Monster Hunter Wilds is Sorry. Killing it. 95,682. And that came out in February. So that's been out for a month. Wow, they got the $109 deluxe edition too. That's just crazy, man. So let's check the reviews here. So this is a month past. So I have all reviews listed. Now this is kind of weird here. It only says that 113,000 people bought it on Steam, which is kind of surprising to me. You know what I mean? I don't know where the other ones would come from as far as reviews go. So I guess they're game keys that people bought, I imagine. So there's 185,000 reviews. So there's 113,997, and people bought this probably at $70. It was cheaper like in the first week. So if you go, I hope you guys can see everything. Um, I'm not even looking at the phone to see if you guys are seeing it clearly. So there's 113,000. So 113,000. Well, we might as well just say 114 because it's just about there. Okay. Times. Well, even if you say 50, if you wanted to average it out, but people did buy the deluxe edition, I'm sure. So I think we can safely say, um, you know, $70. So that's $8 million if we round it up. So Assassin's Creed Shadows at best made just over a million in a week. And again, Monster Hunter Wilds, I'm just using the standard version, the standard edition price. They made 8 million. Okay? And, Monster Hunter Wilds as far as I know is on other platforms, I think. Um yeah, so, but that's only the Steam purchases, right? So Assassin's Creed Shadows, most of the purchases were on Steam. Whereas here you have 70,000 other copies. So if we did the whole 185,000, right, times just the standard edition for 70, that's 13 million dollars. Okay? Is it seven? Yeah, it's $70. So that's 13 million they made just on Steam alone. Okay? And I will be buying this game, but I'm waiting for them to fix it up. Um, yeah, I'm just waiting to fix it up. It's just the performance sucks. Kingdom Come Deliverance. So I don't know why they have recent reviews 20,000 positive, all reviews positive. So again, they're positive. So this one was 87,700 purchased and 65,000 purchased on Steam. So you have like 20,000 that were purchased off Steam. So if we go 65,600 65,600 times 60. We'll just go by standard edition. So this is the low. They made almost $4 million just from Steam alone. Okay. And I would say that the ones that were off Steam are legit, right? So if you went 87,500 times, what was it again? 60? Yeah, times 60. They made over 5 million in sales just from Steam. Again, that's not counting the gold edition. Yeah, so, you know, so this came out in February. So this has been out for almost 2 months. AI limit. This one's not doing very well. All the hype for this and it's not really doing anything, which is kind of funny. I wonder what the problem was. I'm curious. Recent. So I really much enjoyed what I played. I'm way past the demo, but not up to the extra boss. Oh wait, is this not out yet? Yeah, it is out. When did wait? It came out. Oh, it came out today. Is today the 27th? Yeah, it came out today. So how many people are playing it? Not many. Oh, wow, that's interesting. So there's 2,917 people playing it. So most people didn't review it yet. Let's see how many. So there's only 577 reviews, mixed. So I imagine, I don't know what the deal is. So what's the negative? I would not buy this game. The devs don't understand how a counter is supposed to work. Okay, so this person doesn't like the combat. This guy said he just didn't have fun, even though he didn't explain why. And he's only played it for 1.2 hours. So where's the mixed reviews? I see all positive. What's uh, what's up? Oh, maybe my language. Here we go. So all reviews. So there's 539 positive and mostly negative. So let's see what the negative is. So other languages. So this guy says the combat's not challenging. This guy said it's far from the best, but I kind of liked it. Great performance on PC with 4K 120 with DLAA and max settings, but terrible on the Steam Deck. Graphic is okay-ish. Music's very forgettable. There is no cloud saves. Okay, so he just says he kind of liked it, but he gave it a negative because it runs bad on Steam Deck. I mean, I don't really understand that. What's the developer say here? Sorry for the bad experience. I'll do my best to continue enhancing the Steam Deck. And the next patch package will have cloud archiving capabilities. Should be very soon. Yeah, so I mean, I think this is an indie developer. Yeah, Sense Games. I don't really know who that is. So they did make some games. Not really sure. Fountain of Youth? Open world survival crap. That's interesting. Set in the Caribbean islands. So see, this is how I find out games when I'm sitting here talking about stuff like this. So Fountain of Youth. So that's something I gotta check out. Let me put that on my. Ooh, it's got guns. Um, Let me put this on wish list and follow. That way, if it go, oh, so it has a demo. Okay. All right. So I gotta check this one out. It's single player though, so that's kind of weird. So there's no co-op. That kind of sucks. So I can't play this with my kids. Yeah, so see that kind of That's not great. Yeah, so I may not buy it because I would want to play it with my kids. But nonetheless, it's there. Pronti, that looks like a side scroller. Another side scroller. Yeah, so, I don't know. So he's trying to get into a Souls-like anime. Yeah. Yeah, so I would imagine it's probably the combat. So this one says he can't stand the parry system. He can live with the 10% energy drain that comes with each parry, but animation delay on the parry itself destroys my battle rhythm completely. I'm not sure if this is intentional, but I'm not coming back if or until it's patched. So he didn't play very long. So it might get better the more you play, you know what I'm saying? This guy played for 5 hours. Game needs more balancing. Some enemies feel weird. Bosses have aimbot since it's kind of clunky to control the character as well. This guy didn't like the pre-order thing. Yeah, so I wonder what the developer said about this parry thing. Let's see. So he responded on today. Oh yeah, because the game came out today. So, oh, the developer, great. Steam needs a translation thing. Let's see if we can translate this. Translate to English. Wow, how am I supposed to see that? All right, let me read that. It says, "Sorry for bringing you a bad experience. I will continue to improve all aspects." Are you talking about parrying or rebounding? In fact, the effective range is still relatively large and the benefits are not bad. If possible, try more and you should gradually master it. You can also try shield defense again and upgrade to get more life. There will be more fault tolerance. Yeah, see, that's what I just said. The guy probably didn't play enough, you know what I mean? And he didn't really, although he did play for, yeah, he didn't play for even an hour, so yeah, so he need. I think the more you play, the more abilities you'll get, and everything will be better. But I don't know, whatever. I don't know the game, so I'll just add it to my follow and wish list. Get it on super sale maybe later. All right, so let's continue here so we can get to our Steam charts. Um, what else? Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about Game of Thrones. Now that one's only got 195 reviews, which I was kind of surprised. It's got online co-op, it says. So it's kind of weird. This came out a couple days ago, yesterday. So, yeah, there was some people that were not really happy with it. So, it's got 195 reviews and 195 people bought it on Steam. So, yeah, kind of weird. Love the game so far. Fun, love the TV series, so makes playing more fun. This game need also to go to consoles. Okay, that guy must not be English. It doesn't feel like a mobile game at all. It's a great RPG for Game of Thrones fans. Riding a horse from the Wall to the Winterfell felt amazing. This map is huge. It's literally all of Westeros. Yeah, so some people were saying it kind of felt like a mobile kind of a game. Uh, this guy only played for zero point 0.2 hours. What a waste of potential after playing 20 minutes. That's what I thought. You have everything you would want in a game, but you choose to make this game that way. Netmarble should stay in mobile gaming. 3 hours in and you see the true form of this game and of this terrible paywalls and grinding. Come on, guys. I had hope in you. Okay, so it could be a gotcha game, or whatever you call them. microtransaction heavy game. Like the got immersion, but game is ruined by microtransactions. Can't even get single different looking armor without buying one in real life. Wow. So you got to pay for the cosmetics. There's none in the game. That's crazy. Huh. Guys, go to bed. Go to bed. Time for bed. I'm yelling because they're screaming and yelling out there. They may not hear me. Says game is horrible. Feels like it was made in 2005. The graphics are some of the worst. No ray tracing or dynamic lighting. Well, that kind of sucks. Hmm. Well, Unreal Engine 4, you can add. Um, I think you can add ray tracing to Unreal 4, or it should already have the ability. I don't know. Hmm. A ton of fun with decent writing and great exploration. It needs work, needs polish, but the foundation is strong. If anyone is here whining because it's a mobile game, just try it for yourself when it goes free to play in April. I think any fan of GOT will be pleasantly surprised. Well, free to play, you know what that means? Then it's going to heavily count on microtransactions. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's not going to be good for it, I don't think. Free to play, not good. But it does have co-op, so that's nice. And I don't believe it's PvP, so that's good too. But I don't like the transaction part, you know what I mean? I'm going to follow it anyway, just in case, you know? Let's look at the trailer. Now, this is not in 4K. Now, I don't know how it moves. I wonder if you move like WSAD or you like, is it point and click or what? They probably wanted to be like a, you know, a like a Souls-like kind of combat, you know? But it's probably just your standard RPG, you know, hack and slash. I might buy this just if it's cheap or free to play. I might play this with my kids. Now that's the other thing I'm gonna ask. Can you share the quest together? You know, like when you're with your friends. Because that's what I always thought was a negative with some of these games that they make co-op, right? That you can't do the quest with your friends, or you have to be at that particular like um, point in the game in order to have the quest. Like I understand why the developer might want you to do that, like they might want you to go through the storyline, but again, if you're jumping in with your friends and your friend's like 10 levels ahead of you and he's like 10 quests ahead of you and you're like going, "Oh, I'm not there yet. I can't do the quest with you." I mean, that's kind of a drag, right? Like they should just have it so that like you can do the quest with your friend, but it doesn't progress the story. You just get like the experience and the reward from doing the quest with your friend. You know what I'm saying? But like when you go back and do it by yourself, you know, you go through the quest line and then when you get to that quest, you just do it again. You know, it just you follow the normal quest line. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as you co-op with people, like that should flag the game in the engine or wherever to say, "Oh, he's just free playing, like free forming, right? Free playing, you know, with his friends." So sure, he can do the quest, he can get the experience, get the reward, you know, and just move on. You know what I'm saying? And or like even if you do the quest, get the reward, when you're doing it solo and you go through the quest line and you get to that particular quest, then you can either say, well, um, you want to do the quest again because you happen to like it, or you already have the item, so you just want to complete the quest. You know, and since you already got the experience in the item, then it just completes, but it doesn't give you like the item again. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a programmer, so I don't know how hard it is to do all that, but I know in certain games you can do that. Like you can just go do the quest with your friend, without actually having to do the whole quest line, you know. I mean, the game itself, just from this video, doesn't look bad, but I can kind of see what they're talking about it being from 2005 because it doesn't look that like, you know, it looks like a game that's 10 years old just from the video. Not that it looks bad per se, but it doesn't look like hyper modern looking, you know. It looks very flat. So anyway, I might check this out either if they have a super sale or if it does go free to play. So yeah, why not? Because I like RPGs. All right, so let's look at the Steam charts. I think we're done. Assassin's Creed Shadows. I don't know. I don't. It's not. To me, it doesn't look like it's a success. Okay. Um. So let's just check out. So here's the thing with the Steam charts, right? Let me just make sure I still hear my voice. I don't know. I don't. It's not. To me, it doesn't look like it's a success. Yeah. Okay. So it's working. All right. So you can't go by top sellers, right? Because I mean, not totally, right? Because Assassin's Creed Shadows here is listed under a top seller. But just as I just showed you, it's not really a top seller. Okay? It the way that they gauge this top seller thing is when the game sells in like little bursts, right? Like Monster Hunter Wilds, right? The first day, oh my god, it sold a crap load. Okay? But then the next day, let's just say for some strange reason because of the day it fell on or whatever, hardly anybody bought the game. Right? So that's not going to be now in this top seller for that day. Okay, let's say Assassin's Creed Shadows sold, let's just say they sold 500 copies on that day, but Monster Hunter Wilds only sold 100 copies that day. So it's going to say Assassin's Creed Shadow is above Monster Hunter Wilds. Okay? And we know that that's just not true. See, change in this game's rank since last week. So in other words, the the success that a game had last week may not reflect in the numbers here or the chart position this week. Even though we all can agree that Monster Hunter Wilds is a way, 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 way bigger success than Assassin's Creed. Okay? We can all agree to that. Alright? There's just no question in anybody's mind, whether you like the game or not. Okay? And here you can see Warframe is number 10. Okay? Now if we go to Warframe, go to Community Hub, there's 54,000 people playing Warframe. So it's double, nearly double Assassin's Creed. Now, of course, Warframe, I think, is, you don't pay for it, right? It's free to play. It came out in 2013. but it's got 613,000 positive reviews, But, people like buying the cosmetics in this game, right? So, and it runs really well. It's very well. I mean, I didn't have any problems when I was playing it. It ran pretty well. Um, yeah, of course, it's an old game though, but it looks pretty decent. So, don't go by this. Go by this. Okay, most played. This would be better to look at. Most played by current players. Okay? This would be the one that I would put more stock in. So Counter-Strike, of course, Dota, of course. So we might as well just not worry about those. You might as well say this is the number one spot because these are both kind of free to play games. So, you know, I think that should be in a different category. But anyway, it's fine. So this one here, Schedule, I have no idea what this is. It's co-op open world management game. I don't know where it came from, but it's like there's 157,000 current players right now in this game, and it's selling for 17 bucks. Okay? So again, 157,000 times $17. It made more money than Assassin's Creed Shadow. Is that insane? This game, whatever it is, obviously it's an open world management co-op game, crime simulator, right? Whatever. um, yeah, killed Assassin's Creed. Just destroyed it, and it just came out 3 days ago, and it's destroying it. Marvel Rivals, of course, 156,000. Repo, I'm not sure about this one. Um, Horror online co-op comedy multiplayer. Okay, so it seems like people are enjoying that. Rust, of course, that's a long time favorite. People like PUBG is still kind of there. Now Monster Hunter Wilds is number 8, right? So the top, so it says the peak today. Okay, so this number over here on the right, I hope you guys can see it. I don't want to make this too big because then I won't be able to see. So this is right now 97,000. This is the peak today. Today. There was 269,000 people playing it today. What about this one here? The Schedule 1, 190,000 today. So this is obviously a dead part of the day that I'm looking at this right now. You know? Banana, dumb. Rainbow Siege, okay, that's kind of a consistent one. Apex Legends, Warframe, we already looked at those. Call of Duty, 50,000. Baldur's Gate 3, right now, 49,000 players in it. It peaked at 58 today. So this is still going strong. This is, again, almost double. Well, not really double, but it's 35% more people playing Baldur's Gate 3 right now than Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, you could say Baldur's Gate 3 is kind of highly replayable, you know, but it came out, in what, last year? No, 2023. So yeah. And, we don't even, I mean, what's not even, I mean, looking at the numbers for this game is just insane. Um, and I guarantee you that because it has mod support, that's why it's even more popular. All right. So let's see here. It's a little big now. I made it kind of big so you guys could see it. Let me just shrink it just a little bit. Whoa. Why does it go such a big step downward? All right, so if we go to all reviews, so there's 739,000 um, players on Steam. 652,000 were bought through Steam. Now let that sink in your head. Over a half a million copies sold just on Steam. And we know this game is on consoles, and it probably sold a lot there too. So if we did, and then how much is this now? This is also 60 bucks. So we'll just go by the 60, right? 60 bucks. So 652,000 times 60. Whew, wow. So just in Steam sales alone, they made almost $40 million. Isn't that crazy? And that doesn't include, again, there was more people that bought the game because, um, you know, 80,000 more bought it somewhere else. They probably bought like a key somewhere and, added it to Steam, so it's pretty nuts. So over 40 million in sales from Steam users. And it has mostly positive reviews. I mean, yeah, so I mean, this is just pretty insane. So if we go back to here, you can just, if we scroll down, 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 let me see if I missed it here. I'm trying to be fair. Helldivers still doing 43,000. Again, more players than Assassin's Creed. Came out last year. Grand Theft Auto, 44,000. Came out 60 bazillion years ago. Um, Elden Ring came out at least a couple years ago. 32,000 players. The Sims 4, 31,000 players. All these games have more. Look, VR chat. Now that's crazy. Now I don't want to tell you about VR chat. 31,000 players in there right now. Throne in Liberty, surprisingly, still 30,000 players. Cyberpunk, 27,000 players. So Delta Force, that's a fairly new game that came out. 26,000 players. Assassin's Creed, finally, number 36. Only 26,000 players right now. It only peaked at 34 today. Delta Force doubled that, more than doubled that. Cyberpunk 10,000 more than that. Dead by Daylight more than that. Throne and Liberty more than that. VR Chat, which is again funny, 41,000 VR players more than that. So 34.5. Sims more than that. Elden Ring more than that. Days more than that. All these are probably going to be more than that, obviously. Yeah, so it's. I don't know, man. For such a hyped up game by the media, um, Red Dead Redemption, it's only got 22,000 now, but that actually peaked higher. So even some of these games actually peaked higher. The numbers that the games that are actually lower in number, actually peaked higher. Like this one peaked higher. Pal World peaked higher. Kingdom Come peaked higher. Skyrim didn't peak higher. Valheim peaked higher. Civilization, Sid Meier's Civ 6 peaked higher. Red Dead peaked higher. Terraria peaked higher. Um, you know, most of these look like they're going to be lower. Euro Truck Simulator peaked higher. So even at the peaks, it can't even beat the peak on a lot of the games. NBA peaked higher. Split Fiction, look at this one. Peaked at 81,000 today. So that killed it. Yes, It's this is obviously a lower time, but it's like yeah, it's not doing good. It's not doing good. So let's look at GPUs now. Um, GPUs. It's this is obviously a lower time. So we have here's a GPU survey. They didn't do the March yet, so that should be coming soon, unfortunately, because that's the one I kind of wanted to see because I wanted to see where uh yeah, I hate that it runs off the side here. I wish they would get rid of this gap in the middle. So the Steam survey from February still shows uh let's go by well, I guess we can just do percent share. That's going to be good. So NVIDIA still dominating. Now there's no 5,000 cards showing here because of this is February survey. So you probably this coming survey is going to show more 5,000 users, but there wasn't a lot of 5,000 cards. So but you can see here the 4060 still pretty hot. The 4060 Ti, 4070, 4060 laptop, because that's actually the best deal for laptops because you can get a 4060 laptop on sale for under $1,000, and I think that's a pretty good deal. 4070s laptops you can also get pretty good deal for $1,000, but there's not too many on here. 4070 Super, 2060 is still up here. Look at that. And you still got like the 1650, 1060, 3050, 3080, 3060 laptop, 3070 Ti, and 1660 Super. Then you got the 2060 Super, 1050 Ti, 4070 Ti, 4070 Super. Like you don't even see Radeon anywhere. I mean, yeah, you got the Radeon graphics and the UHD graphics. That would be like you know, integrated graphics for laptops, basically. Or, if you bought a desktop with integrated graphics. So that doesn't really count because that's not really, people aren't spending that much money for those. Um, so the first AMD that comes up is the RX 6600. And the RX 5080 is down here, and the RX 6700 is here. And then the RX 5700, and I don't know about this RX 580, 2048. That's like a 2 gig card or something. I'm not sure what that is. Or 248 stream processors. I don't know what that is. Yeah, so AMD is still not really showing up much here. I mean, they got 7900 XTX, 0.34%. RTX 3090. That's what I'm on right now. Yeah, I mean, once you get down here, you start seeing some AMD chips. But let's go to the bottom here and see if we see any new ones. I don't think so because they weren't out yet. Okay, so they got, wait, what's that? DirectX. Oh, all video cards. Okay. So here they got DirectX 12, which is kind of strange that they. Okay, so this is like really old stuff. Wow. Yeah, that's super old. Wow. Some people actually still run a GeForce 6800. and a 7900 GS. Wow. Isn't that crazy? And they're actually taking up percentage, like more than 2%. Wow. That's pretty insane. ATI Radeon X300, 9%. I think that's just percentage of DirectX 9, though. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, so it's this category. Yeah, so it's within these subcategories. It's not a percentage of all. Yeah, so that would be the top here. So NVIDIA is still dominating Steam charts. So let's see if we can buy video cards. Um, yeah, so I was looking at Micro Center. I don't know if you can see this. So I'm looking at the stores that are near me, and I'm only looking at items that are in stock. So let me refresh this page. So they actually have some 5080s for sale, surprisingly. But they're, the overclock versions and they're at a hefty price. 1379 for an RTX 5080. 1649. It's kind of high. They do have some pre-built, which are not a terrible price, with a 9950 X3D, 64 gigs of DDR5 and 2 terabyte drive. Not bad. And then here they got a power spec even cheaper, 3199 with a 9800 X3D with 64 gigs of RAM and a 2 terabyte drive. So that's actually not too bad. I mean, if you really want an RTX 5080 and you don't mind buying a new system, you can get one that way and then just sell the rest of the system. Here they have a laptop for $31.99, kind of expensive. I wish it had 64 gigs of DDR5, and I wish it had more storage. I mean, they could put 4 terabytes. You know what I mean? But, 32 gigs, 2 terabytes for 3200, that's kind of a lot of money. So if I check North Jersey, which is another store I could drive to, they're in a more populated area, so they're probably not going to have the cards available. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so they only got this Asus Tough Gaming for 1484. That's kind of oh, it says sold out. Never mind. So they're all sold. Wait, why is it saying? Why is it showing this? Yeah, so you can get pre-built with a 5080. So let's check the 5080 Ti or 5070 Ti. Sorry. Let's see if they have any in stock. Wow. So they have a 5070 Ti for $1,000. That's pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. Now you could buy a pre-built system for 2,500 with a 9800 X3D, 32 gigs of RAM with a 2 terabyte drive. Yeah, I would not buy this for that much money. I would wait until they come down in price. So let's check St. David's because that's within driving distance as well. But they are in stock if you really want one. You know what I mean? You can get a 5070 Ti, but they seem to be all 1,000. Now, you know, I don't usually like saying this out loud because I don't want the scalpers to know what to do, but if you go to these stores and talk to the manager, and say, look, do you have anything in the back, that's near the suggested retail price? Okay? There's a chance that they will say yes. And you could say, look, I'm not a scalper. I'm just upgrading my PC or I'm building a new system and that's what I want it for. I'm not going to resell this online. I'm not doing any of that. I only have so much money and I want to get one for close to retail if you have any in the back. So that's what you can do. So, because these prices here, I think, are just to discourage scalpers. Okay? They don't want scalpers coming in and buying the $750 one and then posting it on Amazon or eBay for $1,000. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to Best Buy here. So let's reload this. It may not be available. It's not available. Wow. It's gone. It didn't last very long. There was one available earlier. All right, so here it is again. Okay, so they're only showing the 5070. I just want the 5070 Ti. Let's check off all these. Why not? Let's see what they got. I don't care about the 5070. So let's see here. Let's go from low to high. All right, so we can't put in stock or available. Let's see. Exclude out of stock. Okay, so I don't know what this offer means. So there's only one showing here for 750. I don't know what this one offer for you means. Oh, free item. What's a free item? Oh, Discord. Like, who cares about that? So is this actually available though? Because it doesn't say available. I don't think this is available because I don't see add to cart. Okay, so it says pickup not available for this item, shipping not available to this item, coming soon. So they don't even have it. So there was an open box 5070 Ti that I had earlier. I don't think I can get back to the page because it's gone now. Let me see if I can get back. No, unfortunately. Yeah, they had an open box item for a 5080. Let me put a RTX 5080 here. Okay, here it is. So, okay, this is the one I had up. So, um, see, they're showing all of them again. I don't want all of them. I just want the 5080. Okay. So this one is available here. It looks like for 1200. This one's sold out. So this one's available. This GeForce PNY, but they had an open box item. Let me see here if I can. They have open box. Let's see. Where's the open box? This one's open box. So they have this Astro one for 1319, but they had another one that was cheaper. Yeah, this one here. This Asus Tough. So this one they have open box. It says pickup isn't available, so I guess you can buy it and get it sent to you. So this one's basically, it says it's like new, excellent condition, all the parts are there. You can get this one for 1187. This is for a 5080, and it new is 1484, so you can save 300 bucks if you buy it open box. Okay? Um what happened here? They also have a PNY one here for 1199. Again, kind of expensive. You know, you're paying $200 more. But this is available. Oh, it says shipping not available. So pick up. Oh, I can pick this up right up. Actually, I can pick this up at my local store. Huh. Interesting. So that one's available near me, which is kind of unusual. I mean, it's not a bad looking card. Wait, 5070 Ti. Why are they showing a 5070 Ti? Wait a second. Okay, this is confusing. They got the picture. They got the wrong picture here. Huh. I'd have to go over to the store and find out if they actually have this. You know what I mean? That's a lot of money for a 5080. But you can get them if you look. Micro Center does have some, you know. See, if I was going to pay 1,000 for a 5070, I would just scrounge up 200 more to get the 5080. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Might as well. I mean, that's just, common sense. Yeah, I think NVIDIA should have sold the 5070 for like 500. Like 550's too much money. Ooh, they do have one in stock for 550. One left. They have three of these here, MSI. Oh, that's a little one too. I need a little card to put in my computer. I'm actually looking for a small card. I wish they had like a side by side. Wow, that's really small. Oh, I might be able to use that in my computer. Hmm. I wish it had more than 12 gigs. That's the only thing that sucks. You know what I'm saying? It's like, uh, I mean, it really needs 16 gigabytes. I mean, it doesn't need it, but it would be nice to have it, you know? Now, there's one review. I wonder if anybody actually said anything. Nah, they just say 5 stars. Oh, wait, here it is. Yeah. A solid improvement over my 3070. Plus, it easily fits in my Alienware. There you go. That's what I need to do. I have an Alienware computer, and I need to put another card in it. So this might actually fit the bill. It may fit the bill. I might actually try this. Try to go see if I can get this one. Hmm. Yeah, I was looking for a small one. This one's really small. It looks small anyway. I mean, it looks kind of stubby. It looks as big as my 3090, you know, because that's what was in there originally. Let's see what's faster. RTX 5070 versus RTX 3090. Now, there probably isn't going to be too many reviews. Really? That's interesting. It says here the 5070 is actually faster than my 3090. Hmm. I mean, that kind of makes sense because it's 2 generations away now. So, you know, the 70, 2 generations ago, the 90, like the 70 today should be, you know, as fast or faster than the top card 2 years ago, right? Now the 4090 is an exception. I have a 4090 too, so that one's like really like fast. I mean that one's like I mean the 5080 is not even coming close to it. You know what I mean? So it's probably going to be a while before a 70 class card outdoes a 90 the 4090. You know, but who knows? We'll see. So yeah, so this is as fast as a 3090. So man, wow. I might actually go ahead and try to get this particular one right here. I need to put it in my cart. I wonder if they have any other ones. Let me put this in my cart. I might be able to get a discount on that. But yeah, that's really nice, man. So let me go to lowest price. Let me go to graphics cards. And let me go to, well, they're showing just 5,000. Oh, here, 5070. I mean, I would like to get a 5070 Ti to be honest, but I don't think they're going to have any small form factors. Yeah, so here you got an NVIDIA G4 Asus Prime for 550 MSI. I don't know what 2 times overclocked means, but I don't think that's what that means. I think it just means Shadow 2X. But if we look at the specs, um, here, where's the specs? Let's look at the specs. So this one has a boost clock of 2512. I mean, I imagine this one's probably going to be the same, if not close. 2512, yeah, so it's really the same. It's not really any different. It's just got 3 fans instead of two. 3 years. I wonder what the MSI warranty is. What's the MSI warranty? Where is it? What happened to it? How did I get two aces here? That was weird. Okay. Tab. So what is the warranty here for MSI? 3 years warranty. So that's not too bad. It's only a 650 watt card, so that'll fit easily in my Alienware. PCI 5, which my Alienware is not. I don't think. It's PCI 4. But that shouldn't really hurt it that much, I don't think. I don't really think it's going to hurt it. Um, yeah, so yeah, this is definitely something I'm going to be looking at here. And in Micro Center, you can trade in your old GPU. So if you look at the discover your trade-in value here, like I have a 2080 Ti, um, right here. So they would give me $182 for that GPU, which I think is kind of low. The 2080 Ti, the Strix edition is, I think, still worth 300 bucks, in my opinion, because it still has 11 gigs of VRAM, you know, RTX 2080 Ti versus um, RTX 4060. I mean, it says here it's still 28% faster than a 4060. You know what I'm saying? So, how can it be worth 200 bucks if it's faster than a $300 card? You know what I mean? Because you ain't gonna get no 4060 for $269. So let's look up another one. Maybe somebody else has comparisons here. I don't really know how they do it. Like this Technical City doesn't. Yeah, so they're saying that even here they're saying the RTX 2080 Ti is faster than the 4060. Now they're saying it's like 15% faster, and it has more VRAM. Yeah, so I wouldn't sell it for, you know, I would have to get at least 300 bucks for it because it's in great shape. My 2080 Ti, it's in really good shape. Um, it's like new. Yeah. I mean, the only thing it doesn't have is frame gen, right? But you can still use DLSS balanced or DLSS performance and get the FPS back, you know, or use lossless scaling or something if you want to buy that thing. So yeah, so the 2080 Ti, I wouldn't not get rid of it for under 300 bucks for sure. And again, it's a Strix edition. So that was like the top, you know, Asus card at the time. And it's got RGB and everything else, you know what I'm saying? It's a really nice looking card. So yeah, it's a little too low, you know. So if I was to sell my 2080 Ti for 300 bucks, then I can get this for $250. That's really nice. All right, guys. Anyway, yeah. So that's it. Um, I am. That's all I got to say. You guys have a great day. Thanks for watching, whoever was watching. Um, I appreciate you all. Take care. God bless. Oh, thanks for watching. I'm over here. I don't even know if you can still see me. Am I still showing in here? My head cut off? No. All right, guys. Take care. I have to end the stream here. I don't know if I can end it here. No, I can't. Um, it is on over here, though. Take care, guys. Bye.